Hello, good afternoon, good morning for everyone around the world joining today. It's going to be a great one, a really important one as we're fresh into the new year, all around tips for difficult conversations when you're trying to conceive. And I'm going to be joined, here she is now, by Dr. Carmen Messerlian, who is the AI empowered app, and we will be talking today about the tips and everything that you can do to gain that control back in your fertility journey. Hello, how are you,
Hi,
Carmen?
Louise. It's nice to be here today. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I've just given a brief introduction, very brief introduction to you and yourself. But please, could you start by telling us a bit about your background in the medical field at Harvard, and then let's talk a little bit about empowering people with those difficult conversations, especially from loved ones who don't necessarily mean to say these things, and how V-Science can help people by joining the waitlist.
That's amazing. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm Carmen Messerlian. I'm a professor at Harvard University. I study reproductive epidemiology and how the environment impacts your fertility. So the environment is your natural built and social environment. So everything outside of your biology is your environment. And my work at Harvard and the studies that I've conducted across the last 15 to 20 years have given me deep insights on the factors that you can modify each and every day to improve the chances of getting pregnant. And I've launched a company, V, to be able to offer you the solutions in a precise and very data-driven way to you in your hands so that you could get guidance on all the things you can modify each and every day to improve your chances of getting pregnant and having a healthy baby.
Which is amazing. I certainly didn't have that when I was going through IVF and trying to conceive over the last decade. So to have something that is so, intuitive and something that is AI driven is really going to be very helpful for people. So I'm so excited to hear about it today. If we could start by telling us a little bit about V and what you're launching and the 12-week program and how people can sign up, that would be great. We've also linked it in our bio for people to check out.
So I'm really excited to offer the world V-Science, this platform that allows you and your partner to join me and the resources and the data that we're collecting to be able to optimize your fertility. Now, when you have challenges with your fertility, you have a lot of questions and you don't know where to go to be able to get the answers. So V allows you to ask those questions in an automated way and get support and answers that are data-driven and evidence-based. Moreover, we provide support each and every day to you through content that we've curated that's about holistic wellness around your fertility. So it's about the mind, the body, and the spirit. And we work on each and every one of these things. We want to create life and we want to create health within you and your partner so that you could bring a baby into this world. And so to me, the solution is not IVF. IVF should not be the first place to go when you've had a fertility challenge. The first place to go is to build health and wellness in yourself and in your partner and in your relationship and optimize your health so that you have the best chances of conceiving either naturally or with support if you need support. You can join V. We've actually maxed out the 12-week program. The 12-week program's filled up for this first session, but we're
Amazing.
collecting new names
Okay.
for the next cohort. And you could join us at join.v on Instagram, and you could sign up on our website as well. We are offering in the next cohort a very sophisticated metric to be able to measure your fertility called the V score. The V score is based on data, your data and data that we've collected over years. And we can understand your fertility, your precise areas and the areas that you need to work on so that you can optimize your V score. And the higher your V score, the higher your chance of getting pregnant. That's what we hope. And we want to guide you each and every day towards that. And that's what the 12-week process is about. That's what the 12-week program is about. You get contact with live events with myself. You can also book one-on-one sessions with me. And we have other experts that you could book with as well. But we have an automated system that's free for everyone.
Amazing.
We want to be able to offer this to every single person that wants help, can get evidence-based, data-driven support in their hands with a tool.
So I would suggest anyone to check it out. You can head to our link in bio as well to read more and sign up. You may as well to hear what's coming. Like you said, the first cohort has maxed out, but ready for the next is a really exciting opportunity. Difficult conversations, whether you're trying to conceive with someone else or solo, you can get into conversations that may not be where you want to be, especially for like people may have just experienced after the holidays. So it's actually quite timely that we're having this conversation now as a new year starts. Um, when you have seen couples or anyone trying to conceive in whatever shape or form struggling, what are these tricky conversations that you've heard? And if people have experienced them themselves, I know I have, please feel free to comment and let us know, difficult things you've heard and how you've navigated that.
So one of the goals of E, one of the missions of E, one of the things that I'm so excited about is being able to be the voice for women, because women have had the burden of being responsible for all the information about fertility, the education, the management of their bodies, the management of their environment, the purchasing of items and solutions and supplements. I want to take that job on for those women because I want to convey it to the male partner, because what we know through the science I published at Harvard and through science that's published by other people, that the male's impact, the male partner, because every baby comes with a male contribution, right? Even if you're a same-sex couple, and we support same-sex couples, we want them to be part of the V journey as well. But there's always a male factor, and the male factor and the male partner contributes enormous amounts of epigenetic information to the chances of getting pregnant, the chances of having a miscarriage, the chances of having a healthy baby. And so I want to be able to have that difficult conversation. I want V to be the provider of education and information to the male partner to take down the pressure from women, so that those difficult conversations like, I don't want you having trans fats, or I want you to exercise more, or I think you should stop smoking, that puts a lot of pressure on the woman to convey that. And that creates tension, right? That creates tension in the couple, where now they feel like the male partner now feels like the partner, the female partner, wants them to change their behaviors, and they're not good enough and feel blamed and don't feel supported. And men are sensitive to those things. But if it comes from a neutral place, if it comes from an educated platform that's data-driven and science-based, it's neutral and takes the emotion part out of it. And we can support the female partner with that. So we can provide that information and support to the male partner, which is a huge part of V. Now, the other part is that we have really important part of V is about relationships. How important is your relationship with baby making? And to me, this is a critical missing part of the IVF space, is that we don't talk about relationships. We don't talk about bonding. We don't talk about lovemaking. We don't talk about intimacy and pleasure. So we want to bring that conversation and make it so that women feel they can have that voice, but also that men feel empowered to make a baby with their partner if it's a heterosexual relationship. And so now we want to give insights to the male partner on the female's fertility, on her libido, on interests that she might have sexually, other things that can allow the process of baby making to become more humanized, more grounded in lovemaking, more grounded in bonding with your partner, in connecting, all the things that support health and wellness in the relationship, which will translate into benefits to the couple's chances of having babies. And what we know through data is that couples that work together have higher success rates, have lower stress levels, and both of those factors increase the probability of success.
Interesting. You mentioned obviously helping, if there's a male in the relationship, if there is a relationship, then being able to have those difficult conversations to get, an action taken. I remember really struggling to even get my husband to go and have a fertility test at the beginning. So I think sometimes in a relationship, it can be tricky to navigate even those initial steps of when is the right time to get this checked out.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the jobs of V. So V is having that conversation with the male partner, saying, we have a male partner, companies that we've partnered with, that we recommend, we've curated, we know that they provide a solution and information that can help you get the sperm that you want and the health that you want, because it's not just about the sperm health, it's about overall men's health as well, because a healthier man produces healthier sperm, produces a healthier baby. And so we want to elevate a man's health. We can't have women elevate their health and have the man down here. So we want to bring men up and bring their health up and let them become educated on their fertility wellness, on their sexual wellness, on their men's health wellness, on their vitality. We want to elevate them so they provide the best optimal conditions to be able to make a healthy baby for their partner and for themselves. And so that is what we're doing. We're telling the male partner, we think you need to get your male sperm tested. Here's a company that we've partnered with that's in your local area that you can work with to get your male, to get your sperm tested. That information might help solve the challenges that you're facing right now. And so this is one of the roles of you, is to be that translator, be that mediator for the relationship, and provide the supports and tools for each member of the couple to be able to engage in a healthier, aligned way towards their fertility goals.
Love that. Why do you think it can be so tricky to have these conversations as a couple if you're in a relationship, but it's sometimes helpful to have like a mediator or a third party
Yeah,
platform or like the science there to
yeah.
kind of guide you in those decisions
So,
and conversations?
this is a great question, because society has made this a woman's problem, right? And so one of the goals that I have, one of the visions that I have for V, is to bring balance to the discussion, bring balance to the problem, understand it from a couple-based perspective, not a woman's health issue. It is a woman's health issue, but a woman's reproduction is guided by male's
Yes.
health. And so let's change the dialogue, change the paradigm on this, and not make it all about women. Let's balance this out. Let's translate this in a way that gives power to the man, gives power to the woman, have balanced power, and have the opportunity. And those conversations are hard because we live in a sexist society. At the end of the day, this is the truth. And I want for every woman to have the best outcomes they possibly can. That's my goal. But my goal is to support the male partner so that the woman has the best outcome, because I know the impact of the male on her health. And if I'm focused on women's health, I have to be focused on men's health, because every baby comes from a man. And so that male partner is impacting that woman's chances of having a miscarriage, and that impacts her health and her life. And so giving that information back to the male partner, helping that conversation come through a neutral party, I think will help solve part of it. But there's a lot more work to do in society to try to change our thoughts on this, change the paradigm on this, and kind of reestablish the paradigm.
Someone's just said it's a two-way street. The male factor gets overlooked so often, which is so true. And I have that conversation with doctors all the time
Yeah.
about when is right to test for men as well. And as we all know, it takes two to tango, and sperm is 50% of what makes a baby, so it's hugely important.
Yeah.
I think before we go on, what's interesting is I was actually having this conversation with my husband recently. We have been together for 15 years, and we had a 10-year fertility journey during that time, which recently ended last year when we had a second set of twins. But during that time, there was a lot of heartache to get there, and there was a lot of decisions to make, really, 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 really tough decisions that will last in our memory and in our hearts forever. And when you're going through that, and people I'm sure will relate to this, please let me know if you do too, but you feel like this pain and this anguish is never going to go away, and you're wondering how it's going to get better. And I feel like looking back on parts of it, we have grown stronger as a couple, but at the time there were really difficult moments where it could have broken us apart.
Yeah.
And you've probably seen that a lot
Yeah.
in terms of relationships, where it kind of can be a bit make or break in terms of what happens, because there are so many relationships that don't go through infertility, and it's such a huge thing to impact you as a couple, if you're in a couple or individually.
Thank you, thank you for raising this, because this is what the data show, that actual infertility is one of the major causes of divorce and breakups
Really,
in couples.
I can imagine that.
And for so many reasons, financial troubles that come because it's very expensive, the tension and the pain. And I want to acknowledge and recognize how painful infertility is for the female and for the male. And we don't have enough attention to the fact that it's painful for the man, and he does not know how to process both his own pain in it and his own suffering, but also watching his female partner suffer through those experiences. And so one of the things that I care about deeply is bringing the mental health question up, bringing the relationship question up, and addressing the trauma that's associated with lost cycles, failed cycles, missed cycles, miscarriages,
And donor conception.
pardon?
donor conception or
and
surrogacy, doing
disappointment
things that you didn't
and
necessarily know you would be
disappointment.
doing.
Because not every couple will end up with a biological baby. Not every couple will end up with giving birth to their own child. They might need surrogacy, and not every couple, some couples will end up needing to adopt,
Yeah,
and that is the truth of it. And so we need to help and support every journey, every couple. We can't leave those couples out. We can't ignore the fact that they have deep pain and disappointment, and that disappointment can impact a life course for that marriage, a life course for that relationship, and a life course for how you identify as a person, as a woman or a man. And so humanizing that experience, acknowledging the pain, healing that pain, so the mind, body, and spirit were very focused on the unification of all three. And for me, as a scientist and as a person who practices a lot of meditation and mind body kind of work, and the unification of the mind, body, and spirit, and the wholeness that you feel allows for growth, allows for healing, and allows for manifestation of the outcome that you desire. And if you're not prepared on all three levels, there's going to be blockages and challenges in getting the child that you want. So working with the mind, working with visualizing, working with understanding and accepting is so important. And acknowledging that it's traumatic, acknowledging that there's pain, and helping that couple heal, because without the healing, bringing a baby in that pain is also challenging,
absolutely.
right? So bringing a baby into a full relationship is hard. And so we want to think very holistically. We want to think about the whole person and the whole couple and the whole family, because we're creating an environment that a baby's being born into, and the couple creates that environment. And so for me, when I talk about the environment, it's the environment that this baby will be born into. It starts in the preconception period. It starts before you conceive that baby, and how can we educate the couple around that environment and creating health and wellness in that environment, and then bring the baby into a healthy nest, because we're creating a nest at the end of the day. And that nest is a lifelong nest, and it's emotional, it's psychological, it's physical, it's spiritual. There's so many elements, and we've lost sight of that in the last 34 years. With IVF has solved for so much. It's a critical element of infertility treatment and care, but it's one part of the equation, and we've lost sort of the contextualization of family and the holisticness of that. And I'm trying to humanize that for people. I'm trying to bring the story in a way that we can love each other through this, and we can heal each other through this. And I want to provide those tools to couples.
Amazing. For anyone who has recently joined, please head to our link in bio to learn more about V-Science, a very exciting opportunity for you, where you can sign up to a 12-week program, free to sign up, but the wait list is full. Is that right, Carmen? So the next cohort will be, when will that be?
In about 2 months from now.
Okay, but you can still put your name down.
It'll be fully web-based by then, and
Okay.
maybe even we'll try out some of the, because we're developing a full-based app, but right now we're creating a web-based platform that allows amazing AI, amazing, very sophisticated data analysis on you, and personalized and precision medicine towards you and your partner, so you could really understand where your needs are and where your gaps are in terms of your health and wellness, and what you can do to fix that, what you can do each and every day, little tiny steps. Everybody can do small things every day to feel the power and the control that they need to feel like they're doing something to improve their chances. And that's what we want to give. We want to give hope and strength in each and every couple.
In terms of first steps, diet, lifestyle, stress, what's the best way, if you're in a relationship, to navigate those conversations as a starting point?
So, education on just the simple biology is first step, right? So what makes a sperm and what makes an egg, and how many weeks and days and months does that take to be able to create a healthy sperm and healthy egg? Because we want the best egg and the best sperm to meet, right? That's our goal. That's our evolutionary reproductive capacity, is to bring the best chance of survival to that offspring. And so how do we create that? What is the knowledge that we have? We know that eggs take not just one cycle to ovulate. You ovulate every cycle, but those eggs were in your body from your grandmother onward. So it's been a while that DNA has been passed on. But the egg also carries, and the sperm also carry epigenetic information. Epigenetic information is basically signatures that you capture from your environment that tell that genome, tell that DNA how to register and what to express and not express. And so you have control over the expression of those genes. And that is in the 3 months, 6 months before you conceive a pregnancy. a year before you conceive a pregnancy. So there's lots of things you could do each and every day, even if you're a planner, not even trying. Things like lifestyle. So educating first is saying your sperm takes about 90 days to produce. You have the capacity to make better sperm. Here are the things that you could do to create optimal sperm. So reframe it from a positive, not like you've got damaged sperm, you're damaged, your eggs are damaged, your eggs are old, your sperm's damaged. No, we're saying you have the power to make this better. Here are tools, here are solutions, here are things you could do today to optimize your sperm.
Brilliant.
10 things you do, or 5 things you do, or 1 thing you can do. Do 1 thing and you're moving the needle forward. Do 2 things and you're moving the needle forward, right? So every little step you take towards health benefits your sperm, benefits your egg. And so that's how we frame it, is we don't guarantee that this is going to create the perfect outcome, but you're optimizing the chances, and that's a goal that you could focus on, optimizing your chances.
Absolutely. And these difficult conversations and then setting goals without making, or not intentionally, one person in a relationship feeling blamed or pressured. What would you recommend for those kinds of conversations?
So I think it's always good to have a resource, and instead of first offering your opinion as a partner, saying, here's my opinion, I think you should stop smoking or stop drinking alcohol. That feels like an attack. Instead, asking the question, did you know that alcohol consumption while you're trying to get pregnant can affect your sperm? I just read something about this. Can I share it with you? That type of thing is a little bit easier, a little more neutralized, right? And so sharing a finding or we have guides on this. We have guides on every topic. So sharing the guide, for example, the guide on alcohol and sperm. Can I share this with you? You could read it for yourself. Think about it. Ask the questions instead of providing input on behavior change directly. Offer education awareness, because behavior change requires knowledge, right? First is awareness. Second is intention. There's intention and there's preparation for behavior change. And those steps are required. You can't just go to action, right? You need to go to contemplation, pre-contemplation, contemplation, action, right? So the pre-contemplation is kind of like where you're educating, and then you're starting to think about it more critically. That's contemplation. Then you go, you know what? I think I should cut down on my alcohol. So it's not overnight, right? It's a process. And that's what we help the couples with, is giving them the tools to help those communication points become a little more neutral, a little more simplified, and guiding those conversations with the couple, and suggesting neutral positions, and supporting the couple through the stressful aspects of that dialogue.
Also, for people who have a personality like my husband does, where he likes to come to decisions by himself, I sort of know after 15 years that if I plant a seed, he then needs to think about it himself, and then later down the line he'll come back to me and say, oh, okay, maybe we should explore this, or that might be a conversation worth having, rather than me just going, full, like, going for it, being like, I think we should do this, and applying the pressure immediately.
Such a good point. So you're an intelligent woman, and you figured out your male partner's personality, triggers, relationship style, communication style. That's a successful aspect of your relationship, because you read him and you know how to work with his style of how to convey that. And so part of that is learning, right? Learning as a female partner or learning as a male partner. What are your female partner's triggers? What are your male partner's triggers? What are the ways that they digest information? How do they become engaged with information in a way that changes their behavior? So, because a lot of people just don't know that, or haven't had the awareness on it, but teaching them and giving them the awareness on it and saying, how does your male partner best receive information in the past, right? Usually for most guys, telling them what to do does not work, right? They need to make the decision for themselves based on their knowledge and integrating that knowledge. And so leave it with them and sit it with them and let them digest it might be a great strategy for some people. Other men just want a formula. They're like, I'll follow it. Tell me what I need to do, right? So it depends on who you're working with. And when you're right, personality has a big part to do with it.
Interestingly, it was actually my mother that noticed that trait when we were wedding planning, and it's something that has helped me through our marriage. And I think that you can actually lean on others around you, can't you, for guidance as well, in terms of an outlooker looking in on your relationship to say, have you thought about doing this? So exactly what you're doing at
Totally
V-Science, being able to give another
true.
perspective.
Totally true. I love that also because your family could be great reflectors for you, right? They're like a mirror to you, and your partner's a mirror to you too, because they're mirroring things that might be hard for you and
Yeah.
triggering you. And so you're learning from yourself through what your partner might say to you that makes you feel hurt or sad or upset or not respected. And so, why is that a trigger? And can you respond to them in a way that allows you to educate him on how you want to receive information? So there's so much there. And one of the parts, it's not going to be central in this first cohort or the second cohort, but one of the parts that we are working with, and we have a clinical psychologist, we're going to be inviting them to do live events as part of
Amazing.
our office to our members, that knows these kinds of things and knows how to teach and educate, because we all need education. Even after 20 years of marriage, you still are puzzled, right? You still need support.
Mm-hmm.
They're big. And so how do we educate on relationship? Like, this is a big factor. And there's great podcasts out there that I listen to, great Instagram sites that I think are amazing, that offer really good strategies on how to manage triggers and attachment issues. And it's a painful thing,
Yeah,
right? Having a child after
100%.
fertility, you feel responsible, but you also feel like you want to blame because you're like,
Mm-hmm.
but then you also feel that it's, your fault somehow too. And trying to just
Mm,
neutralize it. It's
absolutely.
just how it is, and let's solve for it together as a team. And how do we create a team sport out of it instead of making it all about me or all about you? Like, how do we
Mm-hmm.
create a team sport out of it? One of the things that I love about V, and one of the things that I want to express in this company, because for me it's a creative process, this company, it's all my vision of how I think life should be formed on this planet and what are those essential elements, is just the idea of letting go of the goal of baby making and focusing on pleasure and love making, right? Because pleasure and love creates life, right? The act of sex does not create life. It can if you're hyperfertile. We know this because you put the perfect egg and sperm in a petri dish and life does not form,
Mm-hmm.
right? Doesn't most cycles fail? 80%
Mm-hmm.
cycles fail. So bonding, attachment, loving, cuddling, not even having intercourse, your microbiomes merging together through contact and physical touch and cuddling and kissing and all of that stuff, and pleasure, and teaching your partner how to pleasure you and vice versa. Those are so important to the fertility equation, and we leave it out
Mm-hmm.
completely. We left it out completely. We don't talk about intercourse for the sake of enjoyment and
Yeah,
pleasure and loving each other
100%.
and connecting. That is so important. And so we're going to be including this in V, is about loving each other, and how do we do that, and what makes you feel good. What about non-sexual acts like cuddling in bed or going for a walk or sitting on a bench or meditating together, breathing together? Those kinds of holistic methodologies have a lot of deep wisdom in them, and they create alignment between you and your partner. You feel more connected, and the more connected you are, the more your body wants to reproduce with the person that you're with, right? There's a biological drive to
Yeah.
reproduce in each and every one of us, for men until they die, for women until they become
Mm-hmm.
menopausal. But there's a biological, like, extreme
Mm-hmm.
pressure biologically in our systems to want to reproduce, to make eggs, to make sperm. That's what we're here for on this earth. That's what we are born to do. And the more you feel safe and cared for and loved, the more your body feels ready to allow this experience to happen. And so that is a big part of mind, body, spirit connection that we're trying to educate couples on.
Amazing. Someone who's asked a great question. What if my husband says alcohol helps him relax and it's a reward?
Oh, that's such a good one. So it's true. Alcohol can, there's balance in that, right? So one or two drinks might be okay, but drinking every night, two drinks probably does affect, not probably, we know through research that it can affect male sperm quality. And
Mm.
so are there other things that they can incorporate to maybe, to me, it's all about harm minimization. You don't have to go to zero.
Mm.
Let's go down. Let's go from 5 drinks a week to 4, and maybe 4 to 3. And what can we replace those 2 drinks with instead? Can we replace it with something else, something that's mindful, something that's
Mm-hmm.
relaxing, even if it's television, or even if it's listening to favorite music or dancing or
Yeah.
exercising, other things. So going down from 10 drinks to 9 or 6 to 5, like, that's a win, right? that's a win in your relationship. Celebrate those little tiny steps in the right direction, and they accumulate because you start adding them together. They're multiplicative. They don't add, they actually multiply in terms of the impact. And the V score that we have is actually helping us understand how powerful those changes are to the outcome. And so I agree with you. It's even for everyone, it could be if you like alcohol, it could be a relaxer, but at the same time, we know the data, we
Yeah.
know the research. So can we stay within those parameters? Can we stay within that range of what we think is safe and encouraging some positive behavior, go with it, and decreasing a little bit the stuff that we know are harmful. So
Absolutely.
that's what
Absolutely.
the score is comprehensive about all these things. And so you might increase your exercise. And so even if you take your drink down one, that has a big impact on your chances, right? Or can.
Yeah. And for everything we've discussed today, if anyone has any questions for Carmen, please do feel free to share, ask, DM, and we can put you in touch. And also
And
the
follow
link
me.
is in the
Yeah.
bio for V.
Yeah.
Follow. And in terms of AI and how V Science helps people, couples navigate this journey, what would you say the structure of this is in terms of for anyone who's joining this conversation hasn't heard what we've been discussing to date, what would you say to kind of help people make that decision to come and have a look at it and get empowered?
So if you want an alternative to what's been offered up until now, and you want to care for your body in a very holistic way and help your partner engage with you in the process of fertility, V is your answer. Why is your answer? Is because we use your data and we personalize the solutions based on what your body and what your environment looks like. We help guide you with solutions that are actionable and integrated with your overall wellness. And we support you through the process, through a community, through education and information. And we use intelligent algorithms to help us get there. We use intelligent algorithms to understand each and every one of you so that we could personalize the solutions towards your goals.
Amazing. They said thank you. That sounds great. So yeah, check it out. Head to our link in bio, and you can put your name down for everything that's about to come, which is super exciting for 2025. And I know that you've been working on this for a long time, so it's so exciting to see this come to life and to be supporting people in the community with this. Yeah, is there anything else that you want to say in terms of what's coming and what people can do to kind of advocate for themselves and get some help?
Yeah. So for me, one of the biggest parts about V is about democratizing fertility care. So I'm very passionate about this work. It's a dream of mine to have this come through. The reason why is because IVF is not affordable, and there's so many barriers to most couples on this planet don't have access to IVF. And the fact that we've only innovated in this one area where there's so many limitations for most people to be able to access that, to me is a failure of the system. And the goal of V is to care for everybody who can't afford IVF. We're offering you a solution that helps guide you to optimize your chances of natural success. And if you need IVF, you can still get the support. It's not that you have to go through IVF. It's that if you need it, we can support you through. But we're caring for all those people. We're democratizing fertility care because we're offering this for a very simple model in terms of monetization, in terms of making money. We're offering a solution that's affordable for everyone. Everyone can get the base model for free, and then you can get a subscription model that's paid that has additional features. And the price point is going to be at a level that everybody can afford. And if you can't afford it, we're offering scholarships and other opportunities to help support.
Amazing. Okay.
So, yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Really good to know. Well, I'm sure this has been super helpful for everyone else. I've learned loads too. So thank you so much for your time, Carmen. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. And I'm really, really excited to see what's just around the corner as you launch this.
Thank you, Eloise. It was great to be part of your journey as well. And congratulations on your babies. And thank you so much for the opportunity to share my wisdom with your audience.
It's been wonderful. We'll speak very soon. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.